What's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Monday, the best day of the week, right? Momentum Mondays. What's happening, everybody? Glad to be here. Glad that you are here if you're watching this. I don't know if you're watching the recording, you're watching the real thing live, but either way, thank you for being here and checking us out once again. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. My name is Josh Smith, and I am the founder of A Grade Above College Planning. Our whole objective is to reduce your out-of-pocket expenses as it pertains to college, okay? So if mom and dad have retirement coming up, maybe 10, 20 years, maybe other obligations, other children, we just want to make sure that you can save as much as you possibly can when it comes to paying for college. And that's through proper funding, financial aid, scholarships, any little thing that we can kind of give you that you can benefit from. We want to provide you that information. So once again, that's who we are. But thanks again for checking us out and for being here. We are going live at 5 and doing quick videos where we are doing some training, some information, and talking about a couple things or two that can benefit you and your situation. So hopefully you get some value out of this live. We are going to be going, I've been talking about a training over the last several videos that I've been doing, several lives I've done, maybe the past week. We are going to do a training. I believe the date is going to be Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday we are doing a training where we're going to go into greater detail. I'll have some slides and things like that, and we're going to be talking about some of the essential, some fundamental, foundational things that every parent needs to understand and do to maximize your ability to save money on what you're going to pay for college. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's lesson. We're talking about some hidden costs. This is the time of the year where rising freshmen, college freshmen, and every other class is starting to get their bills for college. Rising freshmen, this is the first time that a lot of parents are getting these bills, and they're like, man, like, I knew it was going to be kind of pricey. I didn't know it was going to be this much. You know, it was like, wow, like sticker shock all over again. So I definitely understand that, and I feel for you. I sympathize for you. And what I wanted to do is talk about the college bill, and a common thing that every year families kind of are, I would say, side-blinded, or they kind of get caught a little bit off guard when it comes to some of the fees associated with that bill. And that being health insurance. So if you don't know that many colleges make it a requirement that your student has health insurance. And it's a specific type of health insurance. For some of you can see my dog. She just walked in here. Don't mind her. She's really chill, but she just walked in. Her name is Merlot. So there's Merlot. But anyway, health insurance. So that is a hidden cost that a lot of colleges actually implement that you don't know about. They talk about cost of like books that are not required. They talk about maybe transportation costs that may or may not be the case depending on your situation. They talk about room and board costs, food costs. They talk about a lot of costs that are like variables, like that might be a cost you have to, undergo, or then again, it may not be. But the cost that is kind of required when it comes to like the health insurance, they don't really do a good job of making it clear and like easy to understand and see. So when you get it, you kind of like, what the heck is this all about? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's go ahead and I'll have some bullet points that I want to go over. So even if you already have health coverage, the college may still sell you theirs. And what I mean by sell you their health coverage, they are going to provide you the health coverage for your student automatically. So regardless if you saw our presentation, you know exactly what it is. Some colleges do things differently, but the majority of colleges do a poor job of explaining and expressing this to you prior to you having enough time to make some reasonable changes with your own policy and your own coverage, but they typically automatically enroll your student into their healthcare plan. The colleges have the freedom to set their own healthcare standards, meaning they determine, not only the type of coverage that they think a student should have, and that can vary from university to university. They also, the price will vary from university to university. So the standard that the colleges set is a requirement that you must have, whether that be in your own plan, your own policy, if you don't want the college's policy. But if your policy or plan does not have or meet those standards, then they will make it, in most cases, required for you to purchase their policy. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Number 3 is colleges do not do, we already said this, a great job of disclosing this cost in a very simple and clear manner for most parents, most people. 4th thing is you may be notified in a variety of different ways or methods. So, for example, when your student is automatically enrolled into these plans or to these policies, you may find out via email. You may find out via a postcard, a letter in the mail. You may find out, from a third party broker or whoever, the insurance carrier is. Sometimes it's a policy that is coming directly from the university. Sometimes it's a policy that they may sponsor. Sometimes you don't know exactly how you're going to be notified, which is another annoying thing about this whole policy and this whole ordeal. But the policy that you're going to be enrolled in, you typically will be notified around midsummer, July, August. You'll be notified, hey, your student's automatically enrolled into this healthcare plan. And then they probably will provide, depending on the university, certain steps to opt out or complete a waiver, so you don't have to have that policy. So another thing is the costs can range from about $1,500 a year to maybe $6,000. Oh, definitely over $5,000-$6,000 a year, depending on the university. Once again, in their standards, what they see as reasonable for your student to have while attending that particular campus, from $1,500 to about $5,000. So imagine you're planning for college. You have an idea how much you're going to pay. You have an idea of the cost of cost of attendance. And then you get hit with a $5,000, health insurance bill, and you already have health coverage. So this is why we're talking about this. So the prices can range all the way up to over $5,000 or $6,000, but as low as $1,500. And you must have a health coverage waiver submitted and approved by or within a specific date or deadline, and it has to meet the requirements that the university sets forth. So there's typically a way to opt out, and there's a waiver that you can complete, but you have to get that in within a certain time frame. 1, 2, your coverage definitely needs to obviously meet their standards. If your coverage that you have on your own does not meet their standards, then you can't opt out, right? Your student is going to go to the school, they're going to get this policy. That's typically how it works. So this is sometimes a surprise, and it would be to me too, and just like it would be for anybody else. But it's a surprise when you don't expect it, you don't know, especially if you feel like you already are paying for it. So what you need to do is evaluate. Once you find out about the policy or the plan that the university is offering, evaluate the coverage. Figure out if it's something that you may already have for your student, and you can opt out by providing that type of proof, so you don't have to double pay. Or depending on your situation, if you're a single parent, maybe you only have one child, this is your only student, it could make sense to have them go with the university policy or plan and modify your current coverage if you already have insurance. You may save money. So you kind of have to evaluate the pros and cons. But if you haven't gotten notified by your university that your student has been automatically enrolled, don't just assume that they have not. Don't assume that your university doesn't, make this a requirement. If you haven't gotten anything, I would say by maybe next week, which is going into mid-August, I will contact the university. Just ask about it, inquire. Hey, do you guys typically do this? Do you provide, automatic health coverage? And if so, what are the requirements? And is there ability for me to opt out, and by when? If they don't communicate that to you directly, or if you miss it through some of the other correspondence, then it definitely makes sense to reach out and ask or inquire, because it could be, a $4,000 bill that you may or may not have to pay. And that's $4,000 that you can save and put towards, other things, or stretch your dollar when it comes to paying for college. So there are also some other specific steps that you can do if you're denied, or if you submit a waiver and it's denied or rejected, or some other planning things that you can do. And if you have some questions, if you have a situation where you want to know more about and you want a little bit more guidance, this is the opportunity for you to reach out to us. So I wanted to put it out there that this is something very important, and it catches everyone off guard. All right, it's definitely a cost that no one was really expecting to pay, with college already being very expensive. And believe it or not, the healthcare costs, when it comes to the plans that the plans that the colleges provide, typically rise. The cost rises faster. It outpaces college tuition. So healthcare plan may be X amount of dollars this year, and it probably would be 6%, 3 to 6% higher every year that your student is in college. So it definitely makes sense to pay attention to that potential cost. It is typically hidden, kind of. It's just not definitely like displayed or it's not really acknowledged and showcased like every other potential cost might be, although this fee is typically required by most universities. So you got any questions, DM us, email me, info@agreatabovecp.com. Forgive me if I'm I got 2 cameras here that I'm kind of going back and forth with, and a third that I'm kind of not really giving too much attention to. But if you have any questions, email me at info@agreatabovecp.com, or you can DM me. Forgive me if I'm talking fast. I just want to make sure I get everything out to you and within a certain time frame, and we'll give you some guidance. We'll help you out. We'll give you some direction. But good luck to you. Hopefully this information was helpful, and please share it with anyone that you feel can benefit from understanding and knowing this information, especially when it comes to the hidden healthcare fees that most people are probably paying and may not really realize it. So with that being said, good luck to you and have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow we'll be back live at 5, and we're doing the training in detail, in-depth training. For some of you that reached out to me, I'll definitely be sending you an email. But we're going to do that training on Wednesday is the date that we have set forth. So Wednesday, check us out. We'll be doing a training and going into some cost saving tips and strategies that you can actually benefit from and hopefully save some money. So have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.